And here are the gymnasts that have made it through. 9 of them, 8 qualifiers and 1 wild card. Leading the way, the bronze medalist in the uneven bars competition yesterday. Barbara Mokosheva of Slovakia, 8th best in qualification. Floor Slauf of the Netherlands in her full international debut this weekend. Tina Zelcic of Croatia, 6th best in qualification, balance beam specialist. Sevgi Kayasolo of Turkey, the reigning national champion on the beam and the 4th best in qualifying. 3rd best in qualifying, Nazanin Murova of Azerbaijan. Wildcard Nicole Stoimenova of Bulgaria, but she was only a matter of hundreds away from making it into the final outright. Naomi Visser of the Netherlands, top performer in qualification and the reigning Dutch champion. Bettina Lilitifra of Hungary, 2nd best in qualification. She was the first reserve for the Junior European Championship beam final. And last of all, Turkey's Bengise Yıldız. She was the junior balance beam champion in her country a couple of years ago. We nearly had a fascinating state of affairs for this final. Unprecedented in all of the time that I've been commentating World Cup competitions. Nicole Stoimenova was the 9th best in qualification with 12.233. Now she's in the final anyway because of the wildcard rule that I explained earlier, whereby the host nation gets to put an entry into the finals in both men's and women's competition, whether they have qualified outright or not. Had that not been the case, we would have had 3 gymnasts all in joint first reserve. Nicole Stoimenova, Chanchuk Lam of Hong Kong and Switzerland's Daria Hartmann. They all scored 12.233 with exactly the same difficulty and execution breakdown. And that would have led to a very interesting scenario where, had we had one gymnast pull out of the final due to injury or health or whatever reason, then suddenly 3 reserves would have had to come in. So again, if we'd had one withdrawal from this final, it would have been an 11-strong balance beam competition. That is not something that I can recall happening. Very rarely do you get reserves tied. Very occasionally you might get 2 people tied in the first reserve spot, but 3 tied in the first reserve spot is a remarkable one. Anyway, it's all immaterial now. I think it probably would have had the people managing the competition responsible for the television broadcast timings at the end of their tether if they'd had to deal with 3 reserves coming in. Now, she's always a challenger in any World Challenge Cup competition, Barbara Mokosheva. Wonderful gymnast, great work ethic, super career that's taken her onto a continental podium, and she won a medal yesterday in the uneven bars final. Barbara Mokosheva of Slovakia, first to go in this balance beam competition in Varna. She was the 8th best in qualifying, 12.266. Switch leap mount to begin this display. Free walkover causing some problems, and she unfortunately has to come off. Height gainer to dismount from Barbara Mokosheva of Slovakia. Unfortunately, a full mark for unintentionally leaving the apparatus. Just coming out of that front walkover. And then, otherwise, she was pretty secure at the side aerial. And a nicely controlled height gainer to conclude her performance. .8 for Barbara Mokosheva. She loses, unfortunately, quite a bit of difficulty. Half a mark down. And overall, she's about a mark and 3/10 down. This is Floor Slauf from the Netherlands. Just a little offline with the mount, a slight wobble, but controlled it well. 5th best in qualification, this 16-year-old from Haarlem. Good line in that layout landing. Confidently perform wolf turns. Nice display that from Floor Slauf of the Netherlands. She ended last year with the balance beam title and 3 other titles, including the all-around at the Vasse Gym Cup in Belgium. But this weekend has been her full international debut. Certainly some promising features to her balance beam work. Slauf had a difficulty score of 5.0 in qualification, 6/10 up from Mokosheva. Mokosheva already has lost half a mark of difficulty. fact, not for the first time. We've got a few technical matters that need attending to. Either that or he's ordering a pizza. Leave by front door of arena. She was on her way out there for a minute, Floslav, wasn't she? 11.9, she goes into the gold medal position.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Croatia,
Tina Zelcic of Croatia, 20-year-old from Zagreb, a specialist on this apparatus. Really, over the last year and a half, she's done virtually nothing but balance beam. She did do one brief foray into the world of floor at the national championships last year, but that's about it. Had some difficulties there, quite a lot of execution marks to be taken away. It's been, apart from that moment, a really nice display from Tina Zelcic. It's really regrettable that she had those problems early on. The hand clamped down on the apparatus. Well, we have a look back at this performance from a gymnast who is generally a very confident performer on the balance beam. But here she just about stayed on, the hand certainly coming down on the apparatus. So she'll be losing the best part of a mark. It's a good save nonetheless. 12.266. Tina Zelcic goes into the lead.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Turkey,
Sergey Kayasolo from Turkey, the 17-year-old who had a great moment earlier this season when she won her first ever World Cup medal, a bronze in Baku, and that was on the floor. But she made the balance beam final at the Junior European Championships. That was back in 2020. Best mount I think we've seen so far, that. Very nice, well controlled, good line. Oh, that was tentative, and unfortunately she's off. What a shame that you get that very common occurrence psychologically where the gymnast has got through the acrobatic series and then something much more routine like a leap is just done a little tentatively, and as a result off they come. She was looking really on course there. The second time, so 2 full marks to come off the score of Sergey Kayasolo. the bulk of that was an extremely well-performed routine. Just a couple of leap issues for Sevgi Kayasolo, the 17-year-old. That was just lovely. Virtually nothing to deduct. It was right after that the problems began, unfortunately, for the gymnast from Bolu in the northwest of the country. It was in this building in 2021 that Sevgi Kayasolo made her senior international debut. She won her first World Cup honours last year. That was a World Challenge Cup medal in Mersin, and then a World Cup medal, as I mentioned earlier, this year in Baku, the level just slightly above the World Challenge Cup circuit. Waiting in the wings, Nicole Stoimenova of the host nation, the wildcard entrant to this final. .466, the score for Sevgi Kayasolo. So that means at the halfway mark of the competition we have Tina Zelcic of Croatia in the lead. It's there to be won, this balance beam competition. And we have got the top three qualifiers all in the second half of the field.
Silver.
Next it will be the third best in qualification from Azerbaijan, Nazanin Teymurova. Her score in the preliminary round, 12.733. That would put her into the lead. Anything close to that would put her into the lead.
Representing Azerbaijan, Nazanin Teymurova.
Solid start. She is absolutely on course to challenge. about holds the side, Somi. Giving away quite a few execution tenths as she goes on, but she's still on the apparatus. Azerbaijan's Nazanin Teymurova. Very simple dismount to conclude her display. She had a score of 12.733 in qualification. And although there were moments where she had to really pike the body to stay on the apparatus, for the most part, she was pretty secure. Leading the way with a score of 12.266, Tina Zelcic. Then second on 11.9, Flor Slav. We still have 4 to go after this because of the next gymnast, the wild card. 10.466. Nazanin Teymurova just missing out on a place on the podium. First candle mount we've seen. This is Nicole Stoimenova of Bulgaria. Well controlled. You know what? She's in with a chance here, this gymnast, coming as a wild card. Oh, well, it has been an extraordinarily nervous balance beam final. You have to feel for her. It's a lot of pressure, this. She's only 15, Stoimenova. She's from Blagoevgrad, very near the border with North Macedonia. Totally different part of the country, much like Dimitar Dimitrov, the southwest of Bulgaria, this the east coast. But she actually is based at Aylesbury Gymnastics. Used to represent Great Britain. Nicole Stoimenova. This final is a wildcard entry. Yes, she trains at Aylesbury Gymnastics Academy with the Gadirovas and with Ondina Champong in that excellent club that has started to form the backbone of the British team. 10.566 for Nicole Stoimenova.
Representing
Wise words. She will get there. She certainly will get there. Now to Naomi Visser of the Netherlands. Top performer in qualification. She had a tricky uneven bars final yesterday when she was positioned with a good chance to win it. And she too is off. My goodness me, what an extraordinary beam final. Remember, leading the way is Tina Zelcic, who just about stayed on, put her hands on the beam. And I do often say that it can come down in finals to what you save, not what you give away. Sometimes we focus on the deductions. What we don't focus on is what the gymnast has managed to hold on to. In Zelcic's case, she may actually come away with a medal. And she might well come away with more than a bronze. Visser is the Dutch champion on balance beam. Naomi Visser of the Netherlands, the 21-year-old who competed at her 4th World Championships last year. Largely speaking, a well-performed routine. But the side somersault, she was off axis, coming back onto the apparatus and tumbled off. At the moment, it is a score of 10.8 that occupies the bronze medal position. That's Barbara Mokoshova. Floor Slauf, Visser's teammate, is in silver on 11.9. It's been a very unusual final, this. We still have 2 to go. Bettina Lili Tifra and Bengüsü Yıldız. Now we have Visser in 2nd place, 12.233, but still Tina Zelcic leads, and that means that the Croatian has just won her first ever full international medal. Brilliant accomplishment for Tina Zelcic, and it goes to show that what she saved through grabbing the beam and managing to stay on the apparatus has given her just a few crucial tenths. Now to Bettina Lili Tifra of Hungary, the 2nd best in qualifying with 12.8. She was the first reserve for the balance beam final at the Junior European Championships last year, but she ended up having to come in and compete and finish 7th. So she improved upon her expected placing. This is a composed looking display from the gymnast from Dunaj, the same city as Zofia Kovac, a teammate who's watching on from the stands, and the leader of the Hungarian women's squad. Good performance. Nice debut in World Cup competition from Tifra. Now, is that going to put her onto the podium? It might well do. That could really have changed the dynamic of this balance beam competition with one still to go. An impressive start to life in World Challenge Cup gymnastics from Bettina Lili-Tifra. And she has easily gone into the lead. 13.466. Hugely well done to her. She's guaranteed at least a silver medal and is looking very good value for the gold.
Representing Turkey,
Bengüsü Yıldız from Turkey, the last to go. So as things stand, it is Tifra ahead of Zelcic. They're both guaranteed medals, and Naomi Visser waits to see whether Bengüsü Yıldız can surpass her. Visser's score 12.233. Yıldız in qualification 12.333. So could be a tight finish here. Oh, an unexpected wobble. Nonetheless, a really good display from Bengüsü Yıldız. The last couple of gymnasts delivering strong performances to conclude this rather unusual balance beam final at the Varna World Challenge Cup. So who is going to join Bettina Lili-Tifra and Tina Zelcic on the podium? Will it be Bengüsü Yıldız, or has Naomi Visser just about done enough? Last score to come in. Calculations almost concluded for Bengüsü Yıldız. The score is 11.933. Close. Very close for Bengüsü Yıldız. That puts her in 4th position. Just missing out the victory ceremony for the balance beam competition at the Varna World Challenge Cup.
Third place, the bronze medal, representing Netherlands,
Naomi Visser of the Netherlands, the winner of the bronze medal.
Second place and silver medal, representing Croatia, Tina Zelcic.
Croatia's Tina Zelcic, the winner of the silver medal. Her first ever international honours. Congratulations to the 20-year-old beam specialist. What an excellent debut for Bettina Lili-Tifra of Hungary. Welcome to World Cup competition. Here is the gold medal that you have earned. And in what was really a nervous balance beam final with lots of errors, she was terrific. 13.466. Victory by 1.2 marks. That's a commanding performance. And as a result, we will hear in just a moment the national anthem of Hungary. Hungary joining Armenia as one of 2 nations to win 2 gold medals this weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, attention for the national anthem of Hungary. Huge applause for the champion and Marshall.
The medalists in the balance beam competition